Don, thank you for the intro. How's my audio?
I think you're coming through loud and clear to me. How about
All
myself?
right. All
Yeah, it
right.
sounds fine.
Fantastic. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us for our demo Q&A session on Wednesday. It's been a little while. And we are coming off of a very big test drive. I'm going to get into all of that, but I just want to say again, thank you for showing up. It means a great deal to us. You guys are our support. You are who make us happen, and you're really our venture capitalists because through your kind subscriptions and appreciation of our product, we were able to innovate the way a company typically can't innovate in today's world where everybody's raising money to raise more money and have more board meetings. So before we begin, let me just jump into our quick disclaimer. Obviously, you guys should hopefully know that officially we are not any kind of registered investment advisor. And all the information you can hear from myself, Brad, Scott, or Barry, or anybody associated with Trade Ideas is simply for educational and informational purposes only and not investment advice tailored to your specific needs. Now that we got that out of the way, everyone, let's have some fun. First of all, just a quick reminder, as I said before, we just finished our largest demo session, our open house, our test drive. It was a stunning success, which just tells me that there's so much demand for our type of technology. We've never had this many people try out the software, and before it happened, I don't know, Scott, maybe we should have done a little question about how many people were in the test drive. We know it's many, but I'm just curious. If you want to, feel free to say hello in the chat. That way, at least I'll know some of the people that were on there. And if not, then again, it's all good either way. We're going to have lots of fun today. Just so that you know, Trade Ideas has been around since 2003. We're a made in the USA business, and you guys are the only people that make us happen. We rely on your subscription dollars to fund our technology, and we've been doing that since 2003, and we're about to be 5 years running on the Inc. 5000 fastest growing privately held companies. We were pretty proud of that, and we think it's something that you guys should know because it just means that other people also recognize the success that we've had and all the good things that we're doing with financial technology. So let's get ready to have some fun. The first slide is in proper English. Is you is, or is you ain't, diamond handed. The reason I bring this up because, ladies and gentlemen, we're in the stock market for one reason and one reason only, gigantic gains. I mean, of course, we'll take any gains to some extent, but Brad, don't you want the big ones?
You always want the big one. You shouldn't always expect the big one, but certainly you should take it when it comes.
Right, you have to keep in mind that what is possible, okay? And for anybody who has been coming to our Q&As over the last 2 or 3 months, you guys know that I've been telling you about what I and a lot of traders in the world, but also traders and Trade Ideas, aside from the technology, but what we're doing with these two stocks. The stock market is an amazing animal. By the way, GameStop has earnings tomorrow pre-market. Who knows what will happen? But certainly what's happening right now is very, very encouraging, okay? And one of the things that we've discussed before is that the stock market is not always as transparent as the individual investor likes. There's all these things like earnings and estimates, and the Wall Street crowd wants you to believe that stuff is geared around whatever the heck they call valuations. But there was a group of people that decided that GameStop should be at 0, and they accidentally stumbled upon the wrong group of people to mess with, gamers. And gamers who spend hours upon hours upon hours figuring out how games work and how to beat them figured out that the hedge funds were cheating. They were shorting GameStop synthetically, nakedly, and there is more short of this stock than there is stock available. And that is why you are seeing what you're seeing. I'm trying to explain to you guys so that you understand the game at hand. And this is trade ideas related because we catch these moves, we catch the volume, we catch it all. But what you're seeing now is that since we've been talking, GameStop has gone from 500 all the way down to like in the mid 50s to back, popped over 300. This is the monthly chart and is now at 240. And we think the upside from here is going to be enormous because the valuation of GameStop and AMC for that matter has nothing to do with the companies, okay? It has nothing to do with a movie company or a company that sells games. It has to do with what is the valuation of something when it's going to clean up the whole stock market. Because the stock market's dirty. We've seen it since, Brad, we've seen this since we've been around it since 1998, okay? It's a dirty game. You can still win in it, but it's dirty. And it's, the rich guys get richer and the poor guys get poorer, and not always fairly. But again, here you've got this amazing situation where the bad guys stumbled into a situation where they put themselves into something they thought that they could take to zero. They got beaten at their own game, and this is what you were seeing. There's no other reason for this to happen. So again, AMC is another one. They wanted to take it to zero. And right now, when we get into the actual software, you see it's almost at $20. Okay, it's up 21% today. GameStop's up 31 points. I'm going to show you something real quick because there's a lot of, do you guys understand what paper trading is? What, I mean, Trade Ideas does it. It's simulated trading. Lots and lots of people were showing themselves doing stuff that wasn't really real. And I want to just bring into the screen, this is our interactive brokerage account that we use when we do live trading to test our technology. And here we have a relatively small position in GameStop. By the way, Brad, is everyone able to see it?
Yeah, looking at your IB screen.
Yeah, the interact, right. And I just want you to see what's possible if you allow yourself to experience the amazing opportunities that are at hand. And here you can see this is all, by the way, real, completely, there's no paper trading here. This is all real money. And here I have an average cost of $55 in GameStop of 333 shares. I'm up almost 200 points. Okay, so I'm going to move this out of the way, but I just want you to show that we're actually doing this stuff. We're not just talking about it. Okay, we are doing it. $130,000 account, and this is sort of like the race car that we use on the racetrack to make sure that our engine's working, our tires working, our transmission's working, et cetera, et cetera. And by the way, when you're racing, you want to win, and we're doing that as well. So I'm showing you that these are things that you should be paying attention to. So GameStop, AMC, still critical things that you should pay attention to. And now, this next slide, I don't do Photoshop nearly as well as Brad. Brad, you know this.
Let's see what you got.
Well, you can see what I got. So on the left-hand side, you see GameStop and the reported short sale flow. This is what the industry wants you to believe is actually short, which means if there's a float of 57 million shares, let's call it 60, they're saying that roughly 12 million shares are short. You would almost think that they all covered today, right, Brad?
Yeah.
That's what the volume would tell you. But the game is rigged, and I'm suspecting this is the real number. You can't really quote me on it, but I like the way just you take the little dot, you move it over 2 decimal places to the right, and here's what you got. This is what the gamers found out. This is what's happening here. And remember, for you guys that attend this stuff, we want you to make money. There's a very high likely chance that GameStop is going into the multi-thousands of dollars. Okay? I'm not saying that it's going to happen. I'm just saying that if it did, I would not be surprised at all. Because the people that own the stock aren't selling. This has been discussed ad infinitum. And this is at minimum, in my opinion, what needs to be bought from no shares available. So the price could literally be infinity. Okay. So these are the 2 things I want you to think about today. Wall Street likes to lie. They like to lie about their numbers, but prices don't lie. That's the beautiful thing about trade ideas. We are a price discerning technology. We look at prices, although we check everything, the price of fundamentals, the price of trades, we combine it all together and try to figure it out. Okay, but we also know that there is some BS up in the market, and you should too, and do not be surprised. People think to themselves, oh my gosh, GameStop, how could it be at $244 with a revenue of $5 billion? It's got a market cap of $17 billion. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm going to bring up something. Just remember these two numbers, market cap and 5 billion here. So 17 to 5, what a multiple that is. That's a multiple, I think, of like 2 and change, maybe 3, sorry, 3 and change. Okay, so 3 on the revenue multiple. All right, I'm going to jump into the software. So remember what I just said. And again, we're going to get into trade ideas and lots of amazing stuff there. But before I kind of blow you away on all of the software, I just want you to be focused, because it is really about making money, okay? And making money well. So that's what we're going to be discussing. All right, minimize. Let me know when you guys can see it. So I'm going to bring GameStop back in. Okay, this is it trading after hours, and we have all of that. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a couple of things that we do that differentiate the software from all other vendors. One of the things is that every stock, when you look at it, gives you kind of a heads up, a discernment of what to expect if you got into it right now. Let me explain what I mean. This is a critical component, because software shouldn't simply just be software. It should have a function. Part of our software's function is to teach you, to help you figure out how to invest properly. How do you do that? Let me show you. So in Trade Ideas, you have under tools this feature called options. Okay, and excuse me here. And in the options section, we have what's called AI trade size. That says to you, okay, so when the software makes AI trades, how much do you want to, now you can do this in both paper trading or in real trading mode. So you can connect Trade Idea software, of course, to Interactive Brokers, and Brad, now E-Trade. I believe that's been functioning for a little bit, right?
Yeah, E-Trade's been online for a while now, a couple months.
Okay, right. We're going to talk about that a little bit more, and I'll show you how to do that. But here, what I'm doing is I'm allocating a certain dollar size, $7,700 per trade. Apply, save. So everybody should understand that when they see numbers over here for trades of the AI, this is the, so in order for me to spend 7,700 on Omni, I needed to have bought 213 shares, 81 shares of, I think that's Dick's Sporting Goods, yeah. $184 of BKE buckle, and so you get the drift. Okay, but let's go back to GameStop for a second. This is where we were before. So if I bought $7,700 worth of GameStop right around here, and if it hit a profit target of this price, 257.86, I will at least be up. Let's call it be up roughly around $499. And if it goes to our smart stop, which is right around 233, I'll be down 250. Does everybody understand that? This is a very important thing. I'm going to bring up Apple here in a second. Whoops, I can type. So the software does this for every stock. So this is the same thing. Apple, if I get long here, this was the market was open, and if it hit a profit target of, let me zoom out real quick, of right around like 280, where is that? I guess 130. Again, I can zoom out real quick. Right around 129 or 130.35, I'll make $166, and my loss at 7,700 per trade is $83. Of course, you can always go to options. You can always come here and you can adjust this. You can say shares. So here I can change this to 300. Okay. And let me retype a symbol. And notice that obviously because 300 shares of GameStop at $241 is going to be a lot more money than 7,700, my P&L and my risk adjusts. So what this does, ladies and gentlemen, is that this gives you a hypothetical for any stock, anytime you pull it up. Let's bring it Netflix and FLX. So if you bought it right here, this is your upside, this is your downside. No other software is doing that, okay? Nobody is giving you this play by play, regardless of what it is. Intel, 382, 191. And what we wanted to do when we put this together is create a game plan for everyone so that you can have monetary expectations tied to a trade. And the software assumes you're going to trade everything. And here, notice I can have 3 different time frames. So you can kind of see your trade on the monthly perspective. You know, it's kind of tight. On the 5-minute perspective, and of course, on the daily perspective. So this is how the software teaches you how to trade, regardless if you are using the AI or not. And this is the key distinguishing factor between ourselves and other vendors of tech. We're not just simply putting you in the rat's maze of technical analysis for you to plot indicators and think that they do something. We've long ago figured out that indicators aren't anything but sort of street signs without any paint on them. You know, there's like a sign with some green, a sign with some red, but you don't really know anything about it unless you do some serious analysis, analytics on the actual indicators, and that's what we do. Notice that on my screen, there's really not much. Okay, I have an SMA and an EMA, and I primarily do that just for demonstration purposes. I don't really even use that other than just having my eyes take a look. What I much rather prefer is the risk metrics, okay? And again, the beauty is that you can see how those numbers line up visually on a monthly pattern, so that for every kind of hold time, you have this expectation that is built in. Okay, so you're looking at the Trade Ideas channel bar right here on the left-hand side, and as you can see, I'm on a channel called Whopper, although I've modified it. The idea is that this one has multiple Brokerage Plus windows. You can have multiple Brokerage Plus windows if you want. But here I have my standard Brokerage Plus. And while you guys have been working on the test drive and doing other things, I've been doing some stuff as well. And I've talked, and I know that many of you might not remember, especially if it's your first time, but I've talked to you about the fact that we're going to have a product soon where it's an email product that sends you an email called "The Shorts Are in Panic Mode." And I started listening to the email and just simulate trading it when I see it, and then maybe sometimes adjusting some size, things like that. Like maybe I'll double down on something, just things that anybody would do. And I promised you guys that I would take it out of my other simulated trading account where I practice all sorts of things. By the way, Brad, killing it.
Nice work today.
Thank you very much. But this product is going to be, again, a cheaper product. And as we get into the later part of the presentation, we have something called Strength Alerts, which is a product that comes out once every, I believe it's on Sunday night, to give you kind of a list of possible trades for the week. This one is going to be more real time, so it's more expensive, but it's really just an email product for you. You don't even need trade ideas other than to if you want to, you can use Brokerage Plus to trade it. And I wanted to show you that for something that I think is going to be $55 a month, Brad. I don't remember what we called. I think it's 55, isn't it?
Well, we've got a couple iterations of it. We've got Trade Ideas 1, which doesn't give you the ability to maneuver around our application, but then we've got Trade Ideas 5.5, which is going to give you a real slight modicum of the ability to look at some different windows that we have.
Right, Brad's correct. So Trade Ideas 1 was the one that just sends you the email and you don't need Trade Ideas. Then 5.5 has a version of Trade Ideas that's cheaper than this one, but simply to be able to kind of navigate the data and see what you're getting. And what I was saying is that for a product that's just email only, look at what's possible. So Maria, the 5.5 is not, well, it'll be, I believe the way we have it is, Brad, it's going to be available with the standard subscription already, but
Yeah, it'll be something like we've got with Strength Alerts, where if you have a subscription already, you'll have access to any of the sub products that we have.
right, but it'll be a standalone, and we're going to actually show you the strategy that is doing it. So for all of you guys that are subscribers, we've done this before. This is not the first time that we've shown it. It's called Shorts Are in Panic Mode. It's a play upon the play which I discussed with GameStop. So taking advantage of what we've seen with the GameStop and AMC situation, and look at this beautiful chart right here, guys. Look at this beauty. We're about to go. And remember, this isn't about fundamental data, not about earnings, it's about cheating. Okay? These are cheating trades. Trades that expose the cheaters. These things can go in ways that you could never, ever, ever imagine. And that's why I keep talking about it. I'm not telling you to buy it. I'm just telling you my opinion on what could happen. Could AMC be at $1,000? Yes, it could. Not because movie theaters are amazing, but because the people who are in on the other side of these trades are cheaters. Okay, and notice something else. Let me see if I can show you here. Okay, so Brad, can I tell you, how do we know these people are cheating?
Tell me.
You're gonna tell me, Dan, how do we know?
How do we know, Dan?
All right, Brad, what are the odds that the two of the biggest meme stocks where the cheating takes place have the exact same short flow? Dun, 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 dun. GameStop and AMC. The
Well,
odds of that being the case,
the short
Brad,
flow is kind of a dirty number because it's not updated all that frequently. What is it updated twice per month? And it's ripe for manipulation. Let's just put it
well,
that
it's
way.
ripe for manipulation, but as we've said before, these people aren't even trying hard. You know, if you're going to cheat, at least cheat good. They're cheating good. So the odds of AMC and GameStop both having a 21% short float and trading the way they are is zero. Take that 21, move the decimal place, and that's probably a minimum of 2,000. And remember, the counterparty, and I'm saying this again and again so that when it happens, you know where you heard the explanation, the counterparty is short so many millions of shares and there's none to buy because all the people that are holding know what's happening. It's not like, look, so I am fairly bright, but I'm not the only genius here. People know about this. So I'm just saying, expect the unexpected and then of course, enjoy the show. So back to Brokerage Plus. One of the things that I'm showing you now is that we have the ability for you to have multiple accounts inside of Brokerage Plus, okay? So here I have one called Simulating Trading Default. That's the one where I started doing all my practice trading. And this is the one where I had some of the shorts and I've been, again, just trading around and getting feels for positions via P&L. Maybe the best thing that you're gonna hear from me today is that feel for stocks does not happen through indicators or formulas or anything other than relationship to P&L, either winning or losing. You must feel the win and feel the loss to be able to then maintain yourself and maintain your emotional wherewithal so that, for example, when GameStop, let's go back to the daily here for a minute.
One of my favorite Bruce Lee sayings, don't think, feel.
That's right. Whoops. How come I'm not zooming out, Brad? Oh, I'm zooming out now. Okay.
You're also not there. There you
So
go.
remember, as I said before, this thing went from virtually nothing to a high of 491, came all the way down to here, which is where I started buying right around this area time frame, in the other account and some other places. Ran up to 182, pulled back to 90, ran up to 346, pulled back to 120, 119, popped up to 220, down to 140, consolidate, up to 187, down. They tried to break you to 140. And
There's a tremendous amount of emotion in that move.
Yes. Maria, 100%. Holly can simulate trade and you can follow those simulations. So in other words, you can simulate the AI and see how it would trade for you in simulated mode so that you can kind of get a feel for it yourself. Okay. But my point here is that to be able to be in a position like myself here and have absolutely no emotional panic that I'm at 55 and, oh my gosh, 241, I got to take it. What if it goes back down? No. You've got to keep your emotions in check. You got to control those emotions because they will get the best of you otherwise. And Trade Ideas helps you do that in so many different ways. That's what we excel at. We are the shrink, the emotional management system of the stock market to help you gain the edge that you so desperately need to be able to hold a trade that does something like go from 55 to 240. And you do this through the kind of practice that I'm doing here, okay? So that you can see, like here, I let myself catch this move, because again, just like, in GameStop, how it comes up, comes down, you kind of ride waves, a little bit like surfing. So here I was able to catch this really nicely. Entry at 30, is at 34. You can kind of see what I'm doing, So you can also go back and see what it is that you're trying to do. Here, I'm trying to turn around, okay? I'm in a turnaround play, an ARY, where I've kind of been adding some size. And I think that as it turns, okay, I'm really going to get paid off because I only need like 3 points for it to go again. And you can't learn this unless you practice the way I'm practicing. Look at this. Look at the number of trades I'm holding. Total P&L. So I've got a total P&L of 63,000 with a $9,000 loser here, a $7,000 loser here, a $2,000 loser here. But look how much bigger my biggest winners are versus my losers. That's really the name of the game. You're not going to get everything perfect, but with Trade Ideas, you can get that sense. You can get that sense through practice. This is I've said this hundreds of times. By the way, Mike, Lee's nunchucks were good, but if I happen to do a little nunchucking, Brad will tell you this is true. Kind of picked it up. His nunchuck moves were not that fancy. There's actually lots more fancier nunchucking that you could do. He was kind of doing it for a movie, and a movie you sort of have to make it a little more basic so people can follow. But yes, this is an emotional management game. Okay, the stock market is an emotional management game. Here at the top, I have Trade Ideas AI window, so you can see all of the trades. 3 modes that you can follow or mimic: aggressive, moderate, or conservative. Conservative just gets you in and out exactly as the back testing said. Now remember, back testing is a guide. It is not a fortune teller. So the back testing kind of gives us some parameters, and you can trade it the back test way. I mean, 6% is not bad. And by the way we count percents, we just take all the pluses and the minus and add them together for the total. Moderate is just another way where we do it, where you re-enter the positions, but you still take the stops. And of course, aggressive is you're just in it the whole day and you just get out at the end. So you can see here, when conservative and aggressive are the same, obviously moderate being slightly in the middle is where you get paid off. And you can follow this path through watching what the AI is doing. And again, starting in paper trading mode, but then moving that to real money once you get comfortable. It's that simple. So Maria, the Holly strategies are all in real time today, but they're based on statistical data that's being calculated as we do this presentation. So right now, while Brad and I are talking and you guys are watching our software, we are doing all of our analysis running through simulations upon simulation, what we call the quantitative combine. And through this quantitative combine, you get to see what's really statistically viable and not viable. Let me add that we've modified our execution panel here. It's really quite cool, okay? Let me show you a couple of things that it does. So here it's giving you some feedback. So you can tell exactly what it is that you're doing. And if you're doing it at limit, it's telling you like how much money you're spending as well. Okay, as you change, and it will adjust for you. Okay, so any stock you pull up, 400 shares at 4, so you can see quickly how much you're spending. And again, this is available in all the modes. But we've just been kind of working hard behind the scenes. And when we switch to Brad's desktop, it's really going to get fun because we're going to show you the next evolution of the software and what you can do with it. And right now, all the windows that you see here are what we call free floating windows. So if you know what you're doing and if you know how to set it up, it's very powerful. And of course, many people for many years have used it this way, but there is another version that's coming out shortly, and it also will be version 5.5 because we've been in the 4s for a long time. So 5.5 is coming out, and it has some UI innovations that Brad is going to showcase, which I think is really going to kind of blow your mind. But let me get over a quick summary here. Notice that I've got a bunch of single stock windows, and I'm focusing on this one stock at a time. Okay, here's one that I'm in. By the way, similar play to GameStop, consolidating. I still think it's going in the same area. I've been just accumulating Kodak. Okay, it's been consolidating. And notice that you've got a bunch of tabs here. So you see what it is, what are the key things, and by the way, all of this is customizable, so you can of course configure it. Change from January. There's my graphics card is a little bit gamified, so it does this weird stuff where the flags get changed, but you can also see the United States, and if you go to another stock, let me pull it up. Also United States, China. Okay, so this way you just know what country you're dealing with, what's going on, things like that. Okay, but we have tabs called similar, and this is an amazing thing. Like, let's take a look at Ride, which has been all over the place. If you go to the similar tab, you get to see. And I wonder what's going on here with.
Yeah, it's because Ride was an acquisition corp, right? And so they didn't.
Yeah, that's right. Let me change that to trucking, okay? And here you can see stocks that are just similar based on competitors. Okay, Landstar, another trucking company. But if you look at the price action, you can click down and see, well, what's Similar in the price action department. Look at the monthly charts. So it's almost like your super basic AI without the AI. Okay, here's another one. And you can see there's just lots of different ways for you to get to a good idea with trade ideas without having to think too much. Okay, you've got similar, price action, and competitors. Of course, you've got the insiders, so you can see what's going on there. You can get a quick description of the company, and here I have a tab on the news. So you can also see the news. So it's a one-stop shop for everything. All these windows that I have are kind of custom windows. I, for example, have one that's my 401k, by the way. AMC and GameStop and Marathon are all in my 401k. I manage my 401k. I'm not telling you to do it, but you certainly can, and I do it. And it's been incredible fun and very successful endeavor. Okay. So this is just an example of how you can use symbol lists. And of course, there's just the very basic, simple things. You can always quickly look at the biggest gainers, stuff, something like that. You know, if you think GameStop was the only player, certainly not the case.
More bears.
More bears. Okay. Go to the details, and you can see here it is up, and probably because of earnings, most likely, but here it's up 40%. So again, not the only game in town. Let's do a quick example here of the channel bar. So again, the channel bar allows you to just go right to our expertly done layouts without you needing to configure too much. Let me move this out of the way because Brokerage Plus stays on top. So if I go to Alpha Predator, these are kind of stocks that we feel are the Alpha Predator layout, stocks that are trying to make a, and you know I like this. I prefer to invest in companies in the US, but I can't be too prejudiced against Alpha. I like this kind of move, so I'm just going to show you one of the things that you can do very quickly to catch them. Create a price alert yourself. And I call this might be the time. I hit save, and boom, here it is. I can grab it, I can move it around. Now I've got this, and I can also put it in my stocks that I like, which is a whole channel up here. Okay. And these are all the different stocks that I've clicked on and liked in the various times I've been doing presentations with you guys. So these are just all the things that I've been following. Okay. AMC, and you can see here there, Ford, Apple, etc. So Maria, everything that we have is real time. And Brokerage Plus trades in real time. The simulation stuff is in real time. The charts are in real time. And the simulated brokerage is in real time. It's just that in simulation mode, you're not really placing money trades. Whereas if you're logged in, you would be placing money trades. Everything is live. There's no point in not doing it live. Okay. And notice once again, here I am on Apple. It's following me with the instructions I gave it before on 300 shares. And here's my profit, and here's my risk. So you have this. It's there for you. Okay. Of course, you can see after hours movements. Here's a list of Wall Street bet stocks, and we try to keep things relevant so that you can follow along on what's hot. So these are all the different ones that are mentioned a lot on Wall Street bets. Of course, you've got all the big percentage gainers. In fact, on Wall Street bets, EXPR was maybe the biggest one, although I'm not in that 1%, because it has just that small short foot. I a bigger short put myself. Okay. You can have Omni AI, which shows you all of the AI trades. That was sort of the window that you saw today before. And set at 300 shares, you can see what would have happened. Notice again, everything is the settings that you make it. So this is just 300 shares. This is what you would have aggressive, moderate, conservative today. If you followed every single trade exactly the way you would have done it at trading 300 shares. So we try to make it as easy for you as possible, of course. And there's lots of different things to choose from. It's just a matter of preference. Okay, and all of these, there's descriptions on all of this. Brad, it's right here, right? Where we have channel descriptions. You can click on, so I went to the little cog here, go to channel descriptions, and it takes you to a web page where you can kind of see what's going on. And we have to change it all the time because we'll talk about that. But you can just make sure you know that all of this is documented and easy for you to follow. So let's do this, Brad. Let's switch to you for the latter half and show them the newest of the new.
Let's do it. Let me know if you can see my screen. It should be blank right now.
It is.
All right, excellent. So super development version, so anything can happen here. But I'm just going to go up to the toolbar. I'm going to show you have a couple of new options here. And I'm primarily going to show you what we've done with docking. Docking, like Dan was saying, we've got a new order entry panel in here, but docking is really one of the main features that we're adding in our next version 5.5 of Trade Ideas. So, I've got these options here for a new dock channel bar. Dan was showing you his channel bar going through his free floating windows. And while I haven't mimicked it, the same channel bar in its entirety here, I've got some sample channels here that allow me to really dive in and see what's going on and how it differs. So let me kind of bring up, let's say, the EV related channel. And you'll see it's bringing everything into a container, a docked environment that allows me to manipulate it both based on size right here, where everything will adjust accordingly. And then I could take it and I can move the whole group of windows over to my other monitor. On my other monitor, I've got a whole nother dock set up where I've got this particular dock layout, which is what I normally have on this monitor that we're looking at. So it's nice because you can have your normal workspace set up and bring in a dock channel bar, peruse it, take a look at what you want to look at, but you're not really going to kill your existing layout or do anything in a bad way to it. So you can just take something like your channel bar and keep it minimized, or you can pop it up. A lot of great things that you can do once it's in a docked window as far as being able to customize it and manipulate it. Let's say I didn't want to have this thing stacked over one another. I could take this and maybe bring them side by side. And it really all depends on, the windows that you're looking at, the type of data that you want to see in the windows with the columns and the number of columns that you want to look at, but super flexible. And if you want to take something like this and bring it back into a tabbed mode, you can just drag it right into the center. It's where that cursor is, right in the center, let go. And I'm just going to have some tabs here up at the top to be able to manipulate. And you can do really anything with it. I've got another docked container over here that has a little bit of the AI window in it. It's got some of my other windows, some top lists that are looking at particular portfolio of stocks. And then I'll show you a little bit about Brokerage Plus, because that's another thing that we're fitting into the dock to make it really useful and really engaging, because right now we've got different tabs up at the top, but then you can take these different windows, and if you want to move them around into another panel or another tab, you can do that. So I'll put this thing into another tab. So I've got a tab here down at the bottom, and maybe down at the bottom I don't want to have my my P&L graph or my order entry panel or something like that. So you can get really customized with how you're looking at these different views.
That looks really good, Brad. I didn't even know. So you have a version I don't even have, I don't think.
Yeah, this is like it's not even built yet. It's still kind of in code, but yeah, this is we fixed some bugs with it, and we're still going through and fixing some column issues and cleaning it up. But I think we're really close. I think I want to say a week, away from being able to put out a beta version onto our site to let you guys bang away with and get some initial feedback. We're always creating new technology, new versions, new features and functions. And so, as we put this out, we'll get feedback and we'll make some enhancements and modifications and, move on to the next group of projects that we have within the software. But like if you wanted to just start from scratch right here, right, you could just bring in, say, an alert window. It popped up over here on my other monitor. Got too many windows open at this point here. But I could grab that window, right, and I can pull it out and I can turn it into a free floating window so it's not in a docked environment anymore. So I could still run a free floating type of layout. In fact, if you go to my channel bar here and I bring in my regular channel bar, I've got my custom 2-monitor channel, which has everything free floating. And then I've got my docked 2-monitor setup where I've got multiple docked windows set up. And yeah, it's just really, I think after using it for a couple weeks now, it's really hard to go back. It was a little uncomfortable for the first couple of days, but I think it's going to really add some great value to the software.
Brad, let me ask you real quick. Do you have the ability to quickly show them like 2 channels at the same time?
Yeah, I can do that. So let me just close my
Running
free
2
floating
channel
channel.
bars.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
2
yeah.
channel, okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to come up here. I'm going to open a new docked channel bar, and I'll
Maybe.
set up whatever that's going to be. I think one of these I have an error in it, but that's okay. So there's one channel, right? And so what I can do a couple of things. If I wanted to take this one window, this one dock here, and duplicate it, I could duplicate it so I'd have a carbon copy. But if I wanted to just open up another one, I could open up another new docked channel bar, and I could go to a different channel, maybe size it more appropriately, maybe not have it quite as big. And then, we also have the ability to throw your custom channels in here as well. So you can build your own custom docks that are sized appropriately for what you want to see. And maybe you don't want to have as many columns in yours. You can configure it the way you want, save it, and it'll be really flexible when you open it back up, sizing it the way that you want to.
Yeah, that looks amazing.
So
And
one of the things on the Brokerage Plus, it's another addition. I'll just kind of point it out. So I've got these different tabs up at the top that are representing different accounts of mine. This is all a simulated trading right here, but I've got multiple accounts in here. In fact, if I go in and bring up my accounts tab, this is where I've added those other accounts right here. And you could right click in here and you could add additional accounts here as well. And you'll set your own buying power to whatever it is that you want to set it to make it appropriate. And if you set it somewhat accurate to real accounts, if you're mimicking real accounts, then what you'll get is you'll get the benefit of your percentages working out more correctly and more accurately. But what I was going to say is that when you're on this particular, let me open up my order entry here. And when I'm on this particular account right here, it's going to default into that particular account. If I move over to the other account, it's smart. It'll know that that's the account that I want to transact in. If I go to another one, let's say this guy here, and I have multiple accounts set up in it, where I'm looking at, say, 3 different accounts, it's going to say select an account. So you choose that, make sure that you're transacting in the appropriate account for you. So it's important to know that that's there as well.
yeah, we're pushing the envelope on just getting this really dialed in for the next evolutionary experience. Imagine you've got 2 channel bars, you're surfing ideas on both, and stuff just kind of like pops into your eyes, you know? It's like TikTok, but for the stock market, better, because it actually does something.
That's a good analogy. With no music.
Yeah, all right, Brad. Are there any questions about the docking? All right, awesome. Let's, Brad, let's put it back to me, and I'm gonna finish up.
You got it, my man. Coming your way.
Okay, let me see if I, is everyone seeing my screen?
We are.
Okay. So as we were saying before, stock market's fun but dirty. We're the best weapon in the house, as Bruce Lee would say. Use your tech as a weapon to beat a weaponized market. Some genius presenter said that before. As we mentioned before, we have something called Strength Alerts. They're a $17 a month product, and you can find all the information you need for it at trade-ideas.com/strength. We do lots of introductory material, ebooks, and this one is Dave Mabe, who's our lead software architect, kind of like the interim CTO almost, and he is a trader as well, so you can kind of get a peek into his mindset through trade-ideas.com/strategy. Our friend Barry Anderson has the keys to our trading room at trade-ideas.com/trading room, where there's a community and a meritocracy of well-versed trade ideas users who help one another and help the team rise higher. Barry's trading in simulated mode on this, and also talks about his real trades and does lots of custom help and support. It's a great place to start and a great place to take a look at the software if you're window shopping. Education is the thing that sets us apart from everyone. We look at trade ideas as kind of like a constant continuing education environment. You learn all the time, and we have daily support sessions. Weekdays, 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific time, trade-ideas.com/live. Set yourself up, and again, you will notice that we are always working to help you get better at the game. One of my favorite slides. This is to tell you how much our software costs. Again, you are venture capital people, and if you cannot afford this much per day, you should not be in the stock market, honestly. Okay. We have a promo code for you for being in the webinar. It's Maydays, 15% off your first month for a year off of Trade Ideas. And again, seriously, guys, you see the tech that we're bringing to the market. If you're not able to spend $7.50 a day on this type of software, you should not be in the market, because your emotions are not going to let you handle the swings that are inherent in this type of business. We have podcasts, so definitely search for us on your favorite podcast engine. And right now, it used to be me, but we gotta change that slide. It's Sean McLaughlin and various guests that are all good participants in the Trade Ideas adventure. And of course, we're very easy to get a hold of. Check us out on social media. And although myself and many other people like Brad have been kicked out of social media, at Trade Ideas, at Quanbot, at TI Steve G, at C Varley 1734. These are all accounts that will respond very quickly. Please like us on Facebook and other social media like Instagram. And of course, you can always call us, or preferably shoot us an email. It's the easiest way to get support feedback. Scott, I think this is it. And we're again grateful for your time today. And please continue to visit.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, so there will be a recording of this session up by tomorrow morning. Stay tuned for information about how to find that. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Brad. Thanks, people.
Thanks, Scott. Take care.
Bye, everybody.